How's it going, everybody? This video is meant to help you out with the Lesson 2 cooldown from Unit 2. This problem says an account grows at an annual interest rate of R, so it grows by a factor of x equals 1 plus R each year. The function a of x equals this expression gives the amount in the account after 4 years when the growth factor is x. So we have this function. We know that it's giving the amount in the account after 4 years have passed. You can kind of see that with this exponent of 4. And the growth factor is x. So every year we're multiplying by x plus r. 1 plus r. X equals 1 plus r. So we want to know, what is the total amount in the account if the interest rate for the account is 5% each year? Well, to remind ourselves what percentages mean, percent literally just means per 100. The word cent, like if you thought of pennies, there are 100 cents in a dollar. In terms of years, 100 years is a century. So the word cent shows up again. So per cent just means per 100. So if I rewrote this, 5 per 100, that's going to be 5 divided by 100. 5 per 100. If I divide 5 by 100, this gives me the decimal 0.05. So as a decimal, 5% is 0.05. And we'll work with that in this problem. So how much money was put into, what is the total amount of the account if the interest rate for the account is 5% each year? Well, that means we're going to have a growth factor of x equals 1 plus this rate. So we know that x is equal to 1 plus r, and the rate that we're increasing by is 0.05. Now we can add these together because we have the decimal. If this was a percentage, I couldn't have added those together. So now this is x equals 1 plus plus 0.05 is 1.05. So we have this growth factor now. That means in our equation, everywhere we see an x, we're going to replace it with 1.05. So we'll have a of 1.05 is equal to, I'm just going to type this out so it goes a little faster. That's so we have 725. X is now 1.05 to the fourth power. Plus 200 times 1.05 to the third power. Shrink this down and stretch it out. And then our next term is 500x squared, so we'll have plus 500 times 1.05 to the second power, and plus 325 times 1.05. You could work this out by hand, or we can just type this whole thing into Desmos. Or any other graphing or any other calculator you have. I like Desmos's a lot, it's easy to use. See if I can copy this. Here it is. If we wrote that whole expression into Desmos, would have 2005.267, blah, blah, blah. We'll put 2005.3, round that to a 3. And this is how much money would be in the account after, or if the interest rate was 5% over 4 years. All right, next question. How much money was put into the account at the beginning? We can look at this equation and we can see, well, the amount that's accumulated the most interest is 725. that was multiplied by the growth factor 4 times. So that was like 4 years worth in there. So that's 725 because it was multiplied by the growth factor 4 times. So that one there that had the highest exponent was in that account for the longest. All right, last question. After 5 years, $425 is added to the account. We want to use the expression A of X to write a new expression B of X that represents how much is in the account after 5 years. All right, so B of X is what we're going to write. This is going to be the account after 5 years. So we're going to take everything we have, but we're going to multiply by the growth factor one more time to each term. So this won't be x to the 4th anymore. That's going to be x to the 5th. This will be x to the 4th, x to the 3rd, x to the 2nd. So we'll have 725 x to the 5th plus 200 x to the 4th plus 500 x to the 2nd. That's 325 x squared. But after 5 years, we had $425 added to this account. We want to use the expression A of X to write a new expression B of X that represents how much is in the account here. Well, we had this 425 added, so we should have A plus 425 tacked on to the end. This was added after 5 years, so it won't accrue any interest here. We're just going to have a lonely 425 at the end. If this had been added after 4 years, then it would have accumulated interest over that year. All right, and this is an example for your cooldown. Hopefully it helps. See you guys next time.